Hello again, chickens. So what we're going to do now is activity 11, which is on page 25 of your booklets. And I want you to look very carefully at this data. We're going to work through it together. I'm going to show you this is exactly what I expect from you. A type of feed claims to boost the growth rate of penguins. The feed is tested on 2 twin newborn penguins. Bessie receives the experimental feed. So guys, that is your test group. So right there, test group. And Bertha receives regular fish feed. So that's your control group, Their weights are recorded below. So in this little table, you have got weight that is in pounds. So where it shows pound, 1 pound is equal to 0.45 kilograms. And as you can see, Bertha is definitely picking up weight a lot faster than Bessie. And Bertha is going to be our regular fish feed. Okay, so she's picking up on an ordinary diet, she's picking up weight a lot quicker than what Bessie is on the experimental feed. Okay, that's what we can see now, just looking at the table. And if I can give you any advice, grade 8s, I would do that as well. I would look at your table and go, okay, which one's increasing faster? Which one's improving faster? Which one is the fastest? Whatever the topic is, break it down and actually make little notes for yourself on the side. Okay. You are required to graph this data. And now I am showing you the memo version of the graph. If I can give you any advice, I'd try and draw this without looking at the memo. Just to practice, remember pencil all the time, ruler all the time. But let's dissect this graph and make sure that you guys get what we're going through. We've got two sets of data, hence why I have got this is my key here on the side. Grade 8s, this is my key. So I've got a line for Bessie and I've got a line for Bertha. Then remember I said to you, label the axes first and identify what is what. So we know that the weight gain is going to be my dependent variable, and therefore it's going to go on the y-axis. And my time that's in your table is going to be on the x-axis because that's my independent variable. That's the thing that changes. So over time, the weight is increasing. But we want to see what food is better. So make sure that you have got weight is my heading and my unit is in pounds. Then I have got, you could even do 50 if you really wanted to. You could go 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350. You could do that if you really wanted to. But it does go up to 400, so maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe just stick with 100. Then on the side, on the bottom here, can we see that this could be actually a nice bar graph if you really wanted to. We've got April, May, June, July, and August. Can you see how it's covered up at least 70% of my scale? The same as over here. And these are my months in time. And we have plotted, so per month, what did these little penguins weigh? And you've used little dots to plot at each intersection. So for in April, they both were at 150. Okay? Then in May, Bessie was just a little bit heavier than Bertha was a little bit heavier than Bessie. Then we have, once again, slight difference. Bertha's a little bit heavier in June. July is the same story, but by August they're at the same weight. So they both got to where they needed to be, but one got there quicker than the other, I think. Okay, so please pause this video, this section, draw in what you need to draw in, and make sure that everything is included in your graph. Okay, so following the graph, there are two questions on that page. The first question on page 25 is that both penguins ended at the same weight, but did the experimental feed change the way they gained weight? Okay, so Bertha is using the regular fish food. Remember that? Okay, and Bessie is using the experimental feed. What did we see? What did our graph show us, guys, at the end of the day? Because that's what this question is asking. It's asking the conclusion. It's saying that they both ended on the same weight, but Bertha gained more weight sooner than Bessie. So please fill this in. Can you see how we've written a nice fat sentence that you guys can consolidate everything? It consolidates the whole picture of what you've seen now with these little penguins. The next question says, describe your conclusions about the experimental feed and explain why it's important that experiment used twin penguins. So what is it about twins that is important? So twins, they share genetic material, they share similar growth rates, metabolism, they share phenotype. A phenotype is how we look on the outside. There's a lot of genetic material that they share, which could impact the results. So what's nice here is that you've got two penguins that are almost exactly genetically the same. So if you had a brother and a sister, for example, or two sisters, maybe they had different metabolic rates, and then those metabolic rates could impact the result. It's a confounding variable. By using twin penguins, we are taking out the confounding variable. There's not a difference in metabolic rates because the two penguins have the same, well, in high probability, they have the same metabolism and therefore the same amount of growth hormone in their system. So what I want you to write here, and once again, guys, if you have any questions, please message me. I'm available as long as it's as reasonable. I am there for you. The twins are used to remove the genetic variable, which is your confounding variable. You can write that in. Okay, and some penguins just grow faster. So therefore, if Bessie and Bertha were brother and sister, were sisters, maybe, I don't know, maybe Bertha just had a higher metabolism or had a higher growth rate, and that could have confounded the results. But the way this was set up is that we took that out, and therefore we didn't manipulate it, but if it was there, if that metabolism rate was there as a confounding variable, it would have impacted the study, and we just removed that. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is you need to complete the activities 12, 13, 14, and 15. I will put on Teams when I want this done for. It will probably be needed to be done by the end of tomorrow, by 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I want it done. So if it's too late for you to watch this now, you can always, or do it now, you can always do it tomorrow. Okay, remember, we want you to work at your own pace, and that's comfortable, and that you're understanding the work properly. Okay, grade 8, have a fantastic afternoon, and we will chat soon.